Houston, the 49ers have a pass rushing problem. The takeaway from this, where the Texans beat the 49ers 26-15, is that San Francisco badly needs some reinforcements along that defensive front. This was perhaps the biggest discrepancy that I had ever seen between two pass rushes on an NFL field. The Texans had the number one defense in all of football. We knew that coming in. That's the biggest part of the reason why Houston was favored in this game. The 49ers, we also knew they would struggle to get to the quarterback because they didn't have Nick Bosa, no Bryce Huff, no Yetur Gross-Matos. They're down their top three pass rushers. But it was hard to project it being this bad because Houston had the number 30 offensive line and pass block win rate in all of football. Like, this was not a good Texans offensive line, and the 49ers did not even touch CJ Stroud until after the 2-minute warning in the first half. CJ Stroud has been a bottom half quarterback this league. The Texans haven't been a good offense this league. Stroud goes 30 of 39, 318 yards, a couple touchdowns. He had that interception to Diomero Lenore to finally break the streak for the 49ers at the end of the first half. But, I mean, he looked like Peyton Manning or prime Tom Brady out there. And I'm not saying that CJ Stroud is a good quarterback. Any QB is going to look good when he's playing 7-on-7, when he can't be touched. Now, if you're the 49ers, you can say, okay, Bryce Huff is only going to miss 2 games. He'll be back after the New York Giants game next week with the hamstring injury. But what's to say that he's not going to miss more time, get hurt again after that? Because the 49ers, they lost Sam Okawanu today. He got carted off. Looked like some sort of knee or ankle issue for Sam Okawanu. It was a leg issue because he hobbled off the field before getting on the card. They lost Jordan Elliott to an ankle issue. They lost D. Winters, who was blitzing a ton to try to make up for the lack of pass rush. They lost him to a knee issue today. I'm going to get the update here in Houston from the locker room in a little bit. So who's to say that there won't be more defensive injuries after some pass rushers do return, right? Basically, with what they have in the building right now, the 49ers should probably get used to performances like the one that we saw on the field today, and it just wasn't acceptable from the pass rush. Houston lit them up offensively, and this is a Texans offense, again, that has not been a world beater. It struggled entering this game. 475 yards for the Texans, 9 of 16 on third down. It was pitch and catch. So the trade deadline is on November 4th. And this is what I'm going to say about the 49ers. They fight. They fight and they fight and they fight. And you cannot question the character of this team. You cannot question the character of this coaching staff. Just to have 5 wins at this point, given the roster decimation, is extremely, extremely impressive. But there's 2 sides to that coin. The fact that they have fought so hard means that you owe it to the building, you owe it to the locker room to get some reinforcements in. I mean, it is rare to have a pass rush as non-existent as the 49ers pass rush was today. It is almost unheard of to have a pass rush as non-existent as the 49ers was today with a 5-3 record. And with the fight that the 49ers have put up as a team. So they probably have their idea of what they would like to pay in a trade. And, they're saying, okay, we want somebody who helps us into the future. And, we're trying to play both sides of the coin here. And I get it. You want the best deal possible. But I think that you might have to stretch a little bit into an overpay. In this case, if you're the 49ers, that's how desperate you might have to be. Not only for this season's contention efforts, obviously you need a better pass rush for this 2025 season to go the way that you want it to, but just for the future. What did I say after Fred Warner went down against Tampa Bay 2 weeks ago? The 49ers cannot let the bottom drop out of this defense. Because even if you're thinking about this in terms of the youngsters, developing competence, building themselves up for 2026 and beyond, if you're trotting out performances like today's against Houston's offense, then those youngsters, they're not going to build confidence. This is going to have long-term damaging results for the 49ers. You can't have the defense completely sink. You've got to find something to allow the defense to prop itself up. The Jets, by the way, beat the Cincinnati Bengals, speaking of pass rusher trades. So, I said if the Jets would beat the Bengals, and I said the Bengals are one of the worst teams in football, maybe Trey Hendrickson would be available. I think he left with a hip injury, though. I don't know how serious it is. So we've got to monitor the Jets. We've got to monitor the Cincinnati Bengals. It's Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald with the Jets. With the Bengals, it's Hendrickson and Miles Murphy. Or Hendrickson was still out with his hip injury. So, I do wonder if the fact that he's missed the past couple weeks, I know the Bengals are saying they don't want to trade him, but maybe there was some bubble wrapping going on there. We've got to keep an eye on the Miami Dolphins with Bradley Chubb, Matthew Judon, and Jalen Phillips. All of this, I think the 49ers have to be in no stone unturned mode after what I just watched on that field today. It got off to the worst possible start for the 49ers in the first half. For a while there, it looked like they weren't even going to hit 5 minutes of possession in the first half. The defense finally got a stop and held Houston to a field goal, so it was like 5 minutes and 16 seconds of possession. Special teams single-handedly kept the 49ers in the game with the Brian Robinson kick return, but the first half was about just crazy amounts of ball control for Houston. The 49ers, Robert Saleh was trying. He was throwing blitz after blitz after blitz at C.J. Stroud, but it just shows you that if you can't get pressure with 4 in this league, you're ultimately going to get beat. Your defense is going to be a sitting duck. So the blitzes weren't working in the first half. The coverage wasn't working. Upton Stout missed a couple tackles. Then he committed a holding penalty away from the play. That picked up another third down for the Texans. Woody Marks had a 50-yarder on a check down, which nobody bothered to cover. So it's obviously having these domino negative effects on the 49ers back end. You can't get the Stroud. And by the way, he threw to Woody Marks on that play in the flat, not because he had to get rid of the football, because he was being pressured. Heaven forbid the 49ers pressure the quarterback. They're unable to do that today without their personnel. But he threw it there because nobody was covering him on the other side. Stuff like this just can't happen in the NFL. And I will say, I warned you last week of this. Even when they gave up only 10 points to the Falcons, the 49ers were skating on really, really thin ice defensively. They were giving up some long third downs in that game. And what happened against the Atlanta Falcons is that the 49ers offense was there to control the ball and to shield the defense, to keep the defense on the sideline. Quite the opposite happened in this game, where the offense went 3 and out over its first 3 possessions. I thought that was a really, really ticky-tack face mask call against Juwan Jennings on the Mac Jones run. Maybe that changes the complexion of this game. But the bottom line is, number one Houston defense did what number one defenses do to the 49ers offense, kicked them off the field 3 straight times, to the point where the 49ers only had 5 minutes and 19 seconds of possessions in that first half. And they scored a touchdown because it was Jones to Kittle, but it was only because of the kick return. And they were fortunate that they were down, only 9 points at halftime. And I have to commend the 49ers fight. I think Mac Jones is tough as hell. Obviously, San Francisco missed Brock Purdy's mobility in today's game. Anytime they're going to be facing a top-tier defense, I hope that we stop hearing these idiotic takes coming during the week about how the 49ers are facing a dilemma between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. There is no dilemma. Brock Purdy is a mobile quarterback. He's one of the best in the game who can actually beat these ultra-athletic top-tier defenses. Mac Jones is a fine backup, and I think that he'll even get a chance to start somewhere else. In 2 years, the 49ers still have him under contract next year, so we'll see what happens there. And I think that he's rehabilitating his career just fine, but he's nowhere near Purdy's level as far as escapability goes. And when you're playing a defense like that was coming downhill so fast against the 49ers, and when you're playing a defense like that with a deficit, you need somebody that can move around a little bit better than Mac. And all credit to Mac. He was not the problem for the 49ers today. He actually made several really good throws. There was the deep pass to Juwan Jennings that was dropped. Credit to Juwan after that, just a nails catch that he made near the pylon to convert the 3rd and 17. The 49ers played their asses off to try to stay in this game, but they did not have the guns. They did not. We knew that this Texans defense was going to present a huge challenge. It was going to take some help from the 49ers offense, from the 49ers defense against what was a bad Texans offense coming into this game. They turned it over, 4 times against I think they only turned it over twice against the Seattle Seahawks, but they weren't able to move the ball. very consistently against the Seahawks last week. And today it was like grating through cheese against that San Francisco defense. 10 carries, 48 rushing yards for the 49ers, only 8 for 25 for Christian McCaffrey. Just goes to show you that they never were able to play this game on schedule. From that first 3 and out, Houston grabbed the lead. Then you're facing this really good defense with a 2-possession deficit. And of course, you can't run the ball efficiently. You have to throw a lot. Mac Jones is going to get hit a lot. He got hit 7 or 8 times this game. The 49ers only got the C.J. Stroud twice. I mean, it is a very cut and dry analysis of what happened today. The 49ers did not let Houston's biggest disadvantage so far this season, the offense, be a disadvantage. Instead, C.J. Stroud looked like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. So anyway, moving forward, I heard that Cam Scatterbo suffered a gruesome injury for the New York Giants. That's really unfortunate because I was looking forward to seeing him play in New Jersey next week. The Giants are a team with a bad defense. The 49ers are going to have a chance to operate offensively, even if they don't want to bring Brock Purdy back on turf, even if Ricky Pearsall is going to wait until natural grass for the Rams the week after that. They're going to have a chance to move the ball and score some points, at least a much greater chance than this week. But the same problems are going to persist defensively because I don't think that Bryce Huff is going to be back. Do the 49ers make a trade this week? Do they expedite that process? Because without a pass rush, you're going to get exposed in this league. And the 49ers defense just got absolutely exposed without its pass rush today. I'm going to head down to the locker room right now. We're going to check on Sam Okawanu's status, on Jordan Elliott's status, on D. Winter's status. All 3 of those guys knocked out of this game. And, that's just more attrition for a 49ers defense that had already been absolutely decimated. I personally believe that at 5-3, obviously it's not the end of the world. Fans are going to freak out. The NFL is a week-to-week thing. This is a novel. This is, the whole thing is a novel. This is just one chapter of the novel. How are the 49ers going to bounce back, not just on the field, but with the moves that they make? They've been one of the most aggressive teams trading in the league. Maybe the most aggressive team making trades ever since John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan took over. Well, this year, I think it might be high time to make some moves because without a pass rush, the whole house of cards comes collapsing down. A lot of people were saying, why doesn't DeAndre Lenore make a play? Why don't the linebackers make plays? You can't really expect anybody to make a play if you're not touching the opposing quarterback. 7-on-7 football will make even C.J. Stroud look good. And that's what you saw happen today. So the 49ers need a pass rush. They have until November 4th to see what's out there. Even if they're playing future-facing football with their rookie defenders, they cannot let the bottom fall out of this defense. And we have now seen that happen in 2 out of 3 games, against Tampa Bay and then here against the Houston Texans. You've got to find a way to prop that defense up somehow, some way. The good news for the 49ers is that the most plug-and-play type of addition you can make is at the edge rusher position, because it goes back to Fred Dean in 1981. You could plug those guys in and just tell them to rush the quarterback. It's not all that schematic, right? So that's what the 49ers have to look for. I think pass rusher's big, and we'll see with the D. Winters injury. Maybe they'll be on the linebacker market as well. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. I'm headed down to the 49ers locker room here in Houston.